Welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, April 10th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And then the school committee shall organize annually at the first meeting after the annual election. At this meeting, a majority of the committee shall elect a chairman, a vice chairman, and a secretary to serve until the next annual election, and the rules of procedure shall be adopted.
All right, hello everyone. I would like to nominate Mrs. Maroney for chairman of our school committee.
Second.
I second.
And I'll vote.
Go ahead.
All those in favor? Aye.
And I would nominate Mrs. Hennessy for the vice chairman. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I nominate Mrs. Davidson for the secretary.
I second.
All those in favor? Okay. I nominate Mrs. Davidson and Dr. Morrow Small for the sick leave committee.
A second.
I nominate Dr. Morrow Small for the wellness committee. Second. Oh, wait, go back. I didn't do a vote.
Oh.
Go back to Mrs. Davidson and Dr. Morrow Small for the sick leave committee. You first and a second. All those
First
in
and
favor?
second.
That's a vote. Then Dr. Small for the wellness committee. We had a first and a second. All those in favor? Dr. Morrow Small, Mrs. Hennessy for the alcohol drug violation subcommittee. Second. All those in favor?
I nominate Mrs. Maroney for the athletic department liaison.
Second. All those in favor?
I nominate Mrs. Maroney for the fiscal policy committee.
With the second?
All those in favor? I nominate Mrs. Ranstrom and Mrs. Davidson for the WRPS TV Community Broadcasting Liaison.
I second.
All those in favor? I nominate Mrs. Ranstrom for the early graduation.
Second?
All those in favor? I nominate Mrs. Hennessy for the Cable Advisory Committee.
Second?
All those in favor?
I nominate Mrs. Maroney for the budget subcommittee chairman.
Second?
All those in favor? I nominate Mrs. Davidson and Mrs. Ranstrom for the Energy Subcommittee.
Second.
All those in favor?
I nominate Mrs. Maroney. Oh, nope, that's me, so we need somebody else.
I nominate
Look
Miss
for one to go.
Maroney. I nominate Miss Maroney and Miss Hennessy for the Teachers Collective Bargaining Subcommittee.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right, next one. I nominate Mrs. Maroney and Mrs. Davidson as the Secretary's Collective Bargaining Subcommittee. Do you have to-
Yes, go ahead, Deb, sorry. Yes.
Second.
Second.
Yes.
All right.
All those in favor? I nominate Dr. Morrow Small and Mrs. Hennessy for the Custodians Collective Bargaining Subcommittee.
Second.
All those in favor? I nominate Mrs. Davidson and Mrs. Ranstrom for the Cafeteria Personnel Collective Bargaining Subcommittee.
And I second.
All those in favor? I nominate Dr. Morrow Small, Mrs. Hennessy for the Paraprofessional Collective Bargaining Subcommittee.
I second.
All those in favor?
I nominate Mrs. Maroney and Mrs. Rindstrom for the Daycare Collective Bargaining Subcommittee.
Second?
All those in favor? And we will follow Robert's Rules of Motion.
Do we?
Let's
And a
vote.
second.
And I second that.
All those in favor? Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Now, we can go on to the acceptance of the meeting minutes for the meeting of March 27th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes?
And a second.
All those in favor? And moving on to monthly reports for the month of March, we have the administrators, Dr. Harris and Ms. Shipper, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Shifley, Mrs. Sheehan, guidance, Mrs. Black, the nurse, Ms. Pang, and pupil personnel services with Dr. Miniglia. I'll entertain 4 motions to approve the reports.
4 motions to approve?
And 4 seconds.
All those in favor? We have the school newsletters up next with Eston Jefferson Memorial Park, the middle school and the high school. Thank you for all the time and effort to go into those newsletters. It's always exciting to see what's going on inside of all of our schools, so thank you for that. We'll move on to old business with the Phelps Elementary School update. Ms. Davidson?
I don't really have much to report. I don't know if you do, or,
No, really not.
yeah, okay. Everything's going well over there, and that's about all I have.
Okay, thank you. Move on to completed fundraisers. We have Rockland High School had, National Honor Society had a faculty trivia night. In April, they raised $6,929.72. Congratulations and outstanding effort there. We will go on to new business with request for fundraisers. The preschool PAC is looking for a vote for McDonald's Dine-In. It's to be announced for a date in May.
Motion to approve?
And a second.
All those in favor? All right. And we'll go on to Dr. Cron with the request to increase food service prices for students and staff.
Thank you. We have not increased prices in our meals since 2017, 18. We usually do an increase about every 3 years. And that was primarily because student meals became free in March of 2020, and then they really continue to be free. And we fully anticipate school lunches continuing to be free even next year. But we need to, following an administrative review because of inflation, we need to increase our rates. It has to do with costs versus we can't be selling lunches for less than we pay for the materials. So, but these price increases for students and for just students will only apply to their second lunch. So their first lunch will still be free, but these price increases, if they were to eat a second lunch, would go into effect. So it has really minimal effect on our students, but the adult meal prices will go up. So we need 4 separate votes for this. And I'll throw them out, and then if you want to ask any questions or
Okay.
discuss. So elementary lunch is currently at $2.70, and we're proposing that it go up to $3.50. The middle school, high school lunch is currently at $2.95, and we're proposing it go up to $3.75. And elementary, middle school, and middle school breakfast is currently at $1.50, and we're proposing that go up to $2.50. And the staff meal is currently $4, and we're proposing that go up to $5. So I don't know if you have any questions. Or Jane, if you want to add anything.
I think it kind of makes perfect sense. Any questions, though, ladies?
Can't do mental math in my head. I was like, what's that percentage? It's about 20%, right? Is somewhere around there? Well, for some of them.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah, like the staff lunch is about 20%.
How many students would buy a second lunch?
You'd be surprised.
I know, I'm sure
It's
I
a good
would,
question.
yeah.
It's a good question. I'd say it's probably a fairly low number, and they're pretty generous in the cafeteria with their servings anyway. But that's an interesting question. We
Yeah.
can certainly find out for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any price increases for non-full lunch, like bag of chips or
A la
milk
carte
or-
menus, yes.
A la carte
Those-
menus
yes,
going up
those-
as well?
Those do not require a vote.
Okay. I was just curious, because I think my son gets like a cookie or something else in addition
That's
to a full
included
lunch
within
or
the
whatever.
meal.
Yeah.
Do you already?
Oh, yeah, but
Right.
he buys a couple extras.
A few extra snacks a day.
Yes.
Buys them for the table. It's all good. All right, just curious if it's the a la carte stuff too.
Any other questions?
No, it makes sense, especially with inflation and the cost
Right.
of goods going up. You want to at least cover what we're selling or giving out,
Right.
I agree.
so.
So we're good? No more? Okay.
I guess for the folks that are watching, a lunch includes a drink, a snack, and like the main meal or whatever, like
Yes,
the.
and a fruit and vegetable.
Fruit and vegetable,
and
yeah.
vegetable.
Fruit
and
and
milk.
vegetable with every
Yeah.
serving.
And there's 3 options, isn't there, for students?
Depending on the
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually
okay.
at least 2. The high school has a few more choices. Middle school maybe a little less than the high school, so it's sort of gradation as they get older.
Okay.
There's more to choose from, a little bit. But they do a wonderful job. Our cafeteria staff, Adele Leonard and our cafeteria staff just do an amazing job.
Absolutely.
worth a visit.
It is.
Yeah,
And their food is
fresh
good.
vegetables and fruits that they get are spot on, and the kids eat very well here, and they do a great job on the to-go lunches, and
Right.
filling the bags and making sure every kid gets a lunch on half
On a
days,
half
things
day,
like that.
right.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Right.
Just a great group. And they'll always have a special place in my heart. Remember seeing them during COVID
I
out there
know.
freezing, handing out lunches, 500 meals a day
I
they were
agree.
serving all
I
throughout
agree.
COVID. We had to
Every day.
buy them those heavy North Face jackets to try to keep them warm while they
Right.
were out there. But never complained, never heard a single complaint.
And never send anyone home without something.
No,
Whatever they needed, you
no,
know.
they're wonderful. They do
Breakfasts
a
and
great job.
lunches, yeah, they are. The great team, we're very lucky to have them all.
Very lucky.
And $3.50 for a lunch still is
It's
a
less
good, very
than
good price.
This is a
Right.
And it's a
price.
second lunch.
A coffee.
Second lunch,
It's a
yeah.
second lunch.
Second
First
lunch.
lunch is still,
Yeah.
Right.
so yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and the staff lunch, again, we could probably look at the reports from the cafeteria. Do we break out how many are staff lunches for?
They break it, I don't know the number off the top of my head,
but
but yes, we do have to track it for reporting
Or-
purposes. I'm a breakfast person. I eat the breakfast pretty regularly.
Most
Yeah.
staff have an account,
Yeah, okay.
and so it's pretty trackable.
Okay.
Yeah.
We know what you're eating.
I was just curious.
and
Being
vegetables.
communicated to the staff will be,
Lunch is going
They're
on.
Yeah.
encouraging us to sell more to staff, to increase staff participation. We actually have a fairly low staff participation rate as a district, according to our administrative review. But, they bring lunch, they bring their own lunch.
They're
as
choosing
well.
what they want, rather
Right.
than running down to get it, probably,
Right.
right?
So, but what number that is, I don't know.
Okay.
But they did say that we were lower than most with staff.
Okay.
Anything else, Ms. Hennessy?
No.
So we'd
hungry
need a
now.
vote-
I didn't want to cut you off.
You'd need a vote that the elementary lunch go from $2.70 to $3.50.
I'll entertain a
All right.
motion.
All right, a motion to increase the elementary lunch from $2.70 to $3.50.
Second?
All those in favor?
A motion to increase the middle school and high school lunch from $2.95 to $3.75.
Second?
All those in favor?
Motion to increase I think it was the elementary and middle school breakfast from $1.50 to $2.50, or all breakfast from $1.50?
All breakfast,
All
including
breakfast,
elementary.
including,
Okay.
$1.50 to $2.50.
Second?
All those in favor?
And a motion to increase the staff lunch from $4 to $5.
Second?
All those in favor? All right, that's everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll move on to the community eligibility provision.
Thank you. So this is purely informational, but the community eligibility provision is a service option for schools that have a very high free and reduced lunch population. And the CEP allows us to serve breakfast and lunch at no cost to enrolled students without collecting household applications. So instead, schools that adopt CEP are reimbursed using a formula based on the percentage of students categorically eligible for free meals based on their participation in other specific means-tested programs, such as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP, or temporary assistance for needy families, it's TANF or whatever. But, so if they're already enrolled in those, we don't need them to fill out a separate application, which is a big deal.
Right.
Even though we're fairly certain that the state is going to fund free meals again next year, the state is encouraging all districts with above a 30% free lunch eligibility rate to apply for the CEP because it will increase state revenues that will be able to be used to fund the school-wide lunch program. So currently, Rockland, as a district, has 49.1% of our entire student population.
On free lunch.
On free lunch.
This is regularly, not,
Yeah.
right now, we're all getting it, but regularly, without us all getting it, it's the 49.1.
That's 49.1%. So we've submitted all of our data to DESE, and we'll keep you up to date, but we wanted to let you know that we're going forward with this. And thank you very much to Aaron Long, who's our regional Chartwell's manager, who's been working with Jane on this. No vote needed,
Okay,
but we just wanted to let you know what was going on.
just an update.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Any questions, ladies?
Anything to
Nothing on
add,
that?
Jane?
No.
No? Okay.
All right. We'll move on back to you. It's like a ping pong ball. Superintendent's report.
Superintendent's report, okay. First, I just wanted to sort of update everyone. We're working on the Eston Early Childhood Center and trying to prepare as much as possible for next year. So we've been doing a lot of programmatic planning and a lot of planning with the staff, but we're also looking at some very basic things like paint. The ceilings are pretty bad throughout the Eston. The coat hooks are a little high for the littler kids, so we need to lower them. And we're trying to do all of this work in-house to keep the costs down. But I just sort of wanted to update you and let the community know that we are working at that. We do have some larger sub-projects going on, getting ready to do the playground, which is quite an expensive part of the whole operation. But we're probably looking at a 1 to 3 year plan, I'd say, to do all of the work. So I don't think everything will be ready in the fall, but we'll work at it over time. Some of the bids for things are coming in very, very high right now.
Right.
So I'm hoping that things might cool off in over the next year or two. And so I just wanted to give a little update on that. Do you want to add anything? No? Excellent. Okay. Next, last week, Rogers Middle School held its annual MCAS pep rallies, which were super fun. But I have to say, I hadn't spent a lot of time around the 5th and 6th graders in quite a while. And there are noises that come out of their mouths that I don't know, they're not human. They're some other, they're a cross between a cat and I don't know, it's hard to explain, but some of the yelps that came out, I was just, God bless all of the parents out there. The staff did a great job, and I was especially pleased to see our Rockland High School Student Council members there. They were running the games, they were involved, they were running around to get the kids psyched up, and it was just a lot of fun. It was a great event, and just wanted to give a shout out to Rogers for that. Last week also, Michelle Shifley has been, and Jan and Marilyn have all been sort of chomping at the bit to begin team building to get ready for next year. So they've been really excited to bring the 3 elementaries together for events. And on Thursday last week, they had some team building time in the afternoon together, and they spent that time doing activities, getting together, doing some visioning, and just getting excited about coming together in the fall. So that was really exciting. I want to give a shout out to all the students and staff and the technology department and the principals and everyone who's been involved in MCAS over the past week, and it's going to continue. I've seen some of the kids right after they finish MCAS, and it takes a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of brain power.
It is. It's a lot. And so I just want to say thank you. I know they work hard at it, and they want to make their teachers and parents proud, and so just a shout out to them for working so hard on that. I'd also like to wish the Rockland High School Travel Club good luck. They leave for Italy on Wednesday. We have 30 students and 5 staff members going on this trip. So our travel club sizes have really returned to pre-COVID level at this point. So that's pretty exciting. I'm excited for them. I hope they have a great time. I'd like everyone to mark their calendars. Friday, May 26th is going to be our annual Memorial Day celebration at the stadium with singing trooper Sergeant Dan Clark. And we recognize all of our veterans, our Gold Star families, all the students who have folks involved with the military get recognized, and it's just a super event. That'll be at 9:30 in the morning. We always enjoy the cooperation of our fire department and police department in that event. And last year, out at the stadium for the first time, it was very cool. And the fire department brought their big ladder truck and had a giant flag out. It was really neat. And my final thing is Eston, save the date for this one, Friday, April 28th. Eston is doing their ice cream social and raffle. And I just want to give a shout out to the Eston Pack. They are, the packs are amazing at every school, but the Eston Pack has really outdone themselves with their raffle items that they have spread out on the tables. And just a lot, they do so much to add to the environment, and I thought that was a lot of fun. And that's all I have tonight.
It'll be interesting to see how the packs combine, like what they can all bring
Right,
together, right? How
right.
much they're going to be able to raise and all of that for the one school for Phelps. I guess there'll still be a Eston pack at some point, though, because they'll have the kindergarten and preschool pack
Right.
over there, right?
Right.
All right.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
Regarding Eston, will all the classrooms be in use with pre-K and K?
Yeah.
Or will
we're-
it be like phases of renovations?
Well, that we may do some slipping and sliding there if we need to do a room, but we'll try to do more vacations and over the
Right.
summer, the classroom. So we're talking about it today. We're going to concentrate on the classrooms, getting those as ready as possible so that if we need to work in the hallways. But yes, even though the number of students there is lower than the number of students who are currently there, those classes are very small. A lot of times, our preschool classes may have 4 or 5 students instead of 20 students. So even though we're going down to maybe 150 students in that building, they're really spread out and they're in very small groups. So we do have it mapped out right now to be using every classroom. But that gives, for example, music a classroom instead of having to be on a
Travel,
cart.
right.
Right, and it gives art a classroom. But the plan is to expand preschool. I've asked that this be a goal, that by the end of next school year, that we expand preschool by 2 classrooms, so that we can offer more, just more preschool spots to the community.
Okay.
So that's our goal. We're going to move the program at the same size it is now, about 50 kids, and then we're going to try to expand it to have about 75 to 80 students in that program.
We need to remember, too, we have been used to going into Rogers and the high school, and now Phelps, that Eston is starting to show its wear. Before, Eston was like the glamorous elementary school, and now it sort of needs a little love. So
Yeah.
that's why it's time. I think we
They-
started to look around at the Eston like.
And the custodians
what's
and the
happening?
maintenance department they do a great
Phenomenal
job. They
job.
really do a great job. But some of the even just looking at the furniture, you can see it's got some
Right.
miles on it. But they've done a great job with paint. The building always looks bright and happy, and
Right,
so,
it does, I agree.
yeah.
It's all in what you make it, right? All right, is that all you have, Dr.
That's all I
Cron?
have.
Is that all the questions
Yes.
for Dr. Cron? No others? All right, ladies. We'll move on to our public service announcements. I'll start with you, Mrs. Randstrom.
Oh, good. I just hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable spring break after all the MCAS testing.
All right. Mrs. Hennessy?
Just wanted to say thank you to everyone that went out and voted on Saturday. I'm very happy to still be part of the school committee. Look forward to the next 3 years and welcome anyone reaching out if they have thoughts that they want to share with me. And we'll go from there. And then second that on enjoy school vacation week. And I think that's it for now.
Okay. Mrs. Davidson?
I just know the art show is coming up the first weekend in May, so look at those flyers for more information, and have a wonderful April vacation, and safe travels to the group in Italy.
Right. Thank you. And for me, I wanted to say congratulations to Jamie. I'm looking forward to another few years with you, serving with you. And thank you, like Jamie said, to all of those that came out and stepped up to all of the elected positions that are out here in the town. It's not easy to put yourself out there and not actually win the seat that you were hoping for, so we appreciate you stepping up. It takes good people to do a good job, so thank you for that. And I think that's all I have. Anyone else?
I did have
Oh.
one thing, and that's why I opened my phone, anyone that was watching, because the high school guidance department did send a note, an email out, so hopefully it went to all parents about Senator Keening hosting an Service Academy Information Night. So that's anyone that's looking to apply to like West Point, Mass Maritime Academy, Coast Guard Academy. So I just wanted parents to be aware that there is another opportunity. It is sort of that college level, but going into that, there's a whole process for congressional recommendations and things like that. So I know it's an option for some folks. I just wanted to make sure parents were aware. I'm not sure, just in case you might not have seen it. So that's it.
That's
I wasn't
okay.
looking at email, I was trying to find that information, and I knew I should have printed it out.
We always
So that's
function
it.
off our phones. No worries. All right, that's all we have. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
And a second.
All those in favor? Have a good night.